I am doing a new upload now to talk about cleaning your car, and more specifically cleaning the interior of your car. My interior is definitely in need of some cleaning right now, along with the exterior. You can look at this. This is just terrible. It's been sitting outside, and it's been sitting so long, actually, I've been having a family of cats nest underneath my car. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing today is, instead of concentrating on the exterior of the car, I'm going to be concentrating on the interior of the car. More specifically, I'm going to be concentrating on reviewing a product. Let's get this here in the light. So today I'm going to be concentrating on this product. I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but I believe it's called Ticarve or Ticarve. I don't know how fancy you want to be about the naming, but what this does is this is a dust cleaning gel. So instead of having like a damp rag or any type of other brushes, anything like that you might traditionally use to clean the interior of your car, use this instead. You pop out the product, which is just a gel on the inside that is held together pretty well, and then you rub it over all the interior pieces that have dirt and dust on it. So really excited to try it out on the dash, on center console, on the seats. Supposedly has like a whole bunch of different uses, but I'll go ahead and check it out, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then review it at the end. Here's me taking the product out of the container that it came in. Has a very light lavender smell. So the gel has a tacky consistency on the outside, so the best way that I found applying this gel to my interior to pick up the dust was to actually roll it across larger interior pieces, and then blotting it for smaller cramped spaces. The rolling technique was really effective across large panels in the car. You can also see in this clip that despite the tackiness of the gel, it doesn't leave any residue behind. Now we get to the fun part. So I originally bought this gel because I happen to really enjoy cleaning the interior of my car, and whenever I get to my vents, there's always like this patch of dust at the bottom of the AC vents that I just wanted to finally get rid of. And based upon the ads that I was seeing in Amazon, basically you could just press the gel through the AC vent fins, and that would be hitting a lot of those dust pockets in there and pulling it out. Unfortunately, I found that unless you're like really pressing hard to get the gel inside there, you're not going to get everything, unfortunately. So probably using a longer bristle brush to get inside of your AC vents is probably a better solution instead of the gel. So moving on to electronics, I was really interested to see how the gel was going to perform here. It was a little bit mixed, honestly. What we see is me rolling the gel across the screen, which actually does like a fairly well job. The good news is there was no residue, nothing like that left behind. The one thing I noticed that the gel did struggle with a little bit is in really fine cracks or seams, like at the bottom of my screen here. I noticed that once I really get in it with the gel, it still struggled a little bit to get the really fine particles out of those creases. Other than that, it did a pretty good job about cleaning up the screen. Okay, so here I am cleaning right by my shifter in the car, and something I did want to call out specifically is that even though this gel is doing a really bang up job about picking up the dust, what you can see in this clip is there is a little bit of dirtiness of this particular silver trim piece that's not going to be picked up with the gel, because that is something that maybe has like a little bit of grime on it that you would have to take off with some type of liquid cleaner and a rag, most likely. So the gel will do a really good job with the dust, but if it's a little bit more than just dust, chances are you're still going to have to break out a liquid cleaner.
Nobody had a clue of a review or a why.
Okay, the place where the gel really shines is actually in tight quarters, where you can actually press firmly down on the gel to trap whatever particulate is, in your little compartments there. Does a really, really good job. So something I had seen other people doing was using these type of interior dusting gels to actually clean seats. Now, in my car, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. So if there was a way that I wouldn't have to lug around like a vacuum or lug around any cleaners, if there was a way to attack it with the gel, I was really, really interested to see how it was going to perform. What I found in my experience is that the gel was picking up a fair amount of the dust particles, even slightly larger dust particles, and maybe even like really, really fine dust that was on the seat itself. But what I noticed that it struggled is, once again, like in really, really fine seams, which it may not look like it in this video, but from the center of the seat to kind of like the outside bolsters, just kind of getting in that crease was a little bit difficult to do it effectively. Also, something that I noticed and I was interested in is to see how well it was going to do with pet hair. And my personal experience, that it did struggle a little bit just pulling out like a little bit of hair that you're seeing in the video here. So if it was like, a lot of hair that you may have in like the back of your car, something from letting your dog run around, chances are it's probably not going to pick it all up. So you have to explore other options for that. Here's me cleaning the door area of my car with the gel and getting deep into the window buttons. Did a really good job about cleaning them out. So this is the part of my car I was really excited to try the gel out on. So the 370Z has a whole bunch of nooks and crannies, both inside the instrument cluster itself, which is kind of exposed here on the right side of the screen, and also behind the cluster itself. There's kind of like this gap that telescopes back and forth along with the steering wheel. So kind of getting your hand back there sometimes can be a little bit challenging, and you don't really know what you're picking up or not. And the gel did a really, really good job about cleaning both of those areas. And you'll notice there's a whole bunch of little nooks and crannies there, and did a really, really good job about cleaning out this area. I was really happy. I also used it on the plastic covered tachometer here just on the right, and happy to report did not leave any type of residue on the screen or anything like that, and was really, really effective about pulling out all the dust. Here's me going after that plastic covered tachometer that I was just talking about. It was really, really doing a good job here, pulling everything off of that clear screen. I was kind of worried, thinking it was going to like leave streaks or residue or, something along those lines. But I did notice here at the bottom of the bezel of my tachometer, something I didn't notice before was that there was actually like this little valley there that actually picked up a lot of dust. I had never cleaned there before, so it was kind of funny how the gel kind of led me there to make sure I'm cleaning it going forward, but just a little bit interesting. Once again, I cleaned the speedometer as well. I'm cleaning that plastic piece right now. And once again, not leaving any residue, really, really effective in pulling out all that dust. And I'm also kind of navigating towards behind the gauge cluster again, right here. And you can see how effective the gel is just kind of, forming to this particular section of the car and doing a really good job about cleaning out all the dust. Really, really happy about using it in that type of application. So something really important to call out as far as using these interior dusting gels that I think really, really is important to keep in mind is that unlike rags, unlike brushes, unlike vacuums, right, that might just be sucking out the dust and then maybe blowing it elsewhere in the cabin
or you have to keep all your doors open whenever you're vacuuming the inside of your car here and there. One thing I really want to call out about the gel that I liked is that it's really not kicking up a lot of cabin dust, unlike some of the other solutions. So it does a really good job about locking in that dust and not just transferring elsewhere in your car. So that is a great feature about the gel that I really did like, and I wanted to call out specifically in my review video.
Okay, so we've given the detail, I guess you could... Okay, so we've given the dust cleaning gel a test on a few different surfaces in the car, and just wanted to conclude with some final thoughts on basically what I thought going in before using the gel, while using it, and then also post use. So just thoughts up front, right? I did think whenever I bought this gel that it probably was going to be really good in a lot of tight spots. Like, I was especially looking forward to being able to use this inside my vents. My vents kind of get dusty. I'm a little bit OCD about that. So if you look in some of the pictures and stuff, there's people that are like jamming this inside of their vents and cleaning out a lot that's in there within like the blades of the vents, and also what's inside the vents. But I thought probably going in that it was probably going to be pretty effective in cleaning those areas. I expected that it wouldn't be leaving any residue as I'm kind of like applying it onto the surfaces. And I thought overall it was going to be fairly effective in whatever it did. It's going to be a little bit like moist feeling, like jelly, so obviously picking up dust and any light particles would probably be fairly easy. So I was really looking forward to maybe ditching some of the detailing brushes I keep for my interior and maybe replacing them with this gel that I'm using here. Mid-use, one thing that actually kind of stuck out at me is wasn't quite as effective in some of the areas, such as the vents that I was just talking about. I found that you really had to like cram it in there really good in order to like reach inside the vents as far as I needed it to. So I wasn't expecting to have to like really cram it in there. I was thankful it didn't really break up. It does take a lot to actually like break apart. So no surprises there. It held together fine. It's still stayed moist the whole time, so it was picking up stuff. Probably didn't pick up all the stuff like I wanted to exactly mid-use. I also did, let me back up here for a second. I would say that it's probably about 80% effective as I thought it was going to be, so still fairly effective, but just not 100% effective like I thought it was going to be. The surprising thing was that it was actually effective on the cloth seats, which I was really hoping that it would, and actually ended up being definitely better than I thought it would. I had like some dust on my seats, and so picking it up with this, instead of like breaking out the vacuum and having to clean up like and basically just like lugging that big thing all around, was pretty nice. So it's nice knowing that you could just basically pull this out, give a once over on your seats, and it's fairly effective. Nothing stuck to the seats, which kind of brings me into my next thing. Mid-use, I did realize that, as we're kind of like applying this to the different surfaces, in some instances, what was happening was you really had to like press it on the surface or inside the vents. And what would happen is that basically little small amounts of it would kind of like get stuck and be remaining, or it would have like a tiny bit of residue left over of the gel still on the surface. So what I did was, if I noticed any residue that was still on the surfaces, I just gave it a quick bump again, and it picked up the residue that was inside the gel. I would say post-use, definitely something to keep inside your detailing toolkit, even if you're a total amateur like me. It was really effective. It's nice, that you don't have to break out like a whole bunch of like different items just to give your car a quick cleaning, especially on dashes, on any instrument clusters or anything like that with kind of like hard to reach spots. This really did really well in hard to reach spots. which was really cool. I kind of expected that, but I mean, it definitely performed actually maybe a little bit better in the hard to reach spots than I was thinking of, but nothing quite as extreme as maybe something like the AC vents or anything like that. Also surprising, once again, it did do really well in cleaning up cloth seats that were dusty, and also had like a little bit of fine particles on it, just dust and everything that's, you know, either been dragged in by myself or passengers, or also just blown in, because I do like to keep my windows down whenever I'm driving my car. But overall, I'm going to give this out of 100%, right? Like if I'm ranking this for y'all, all the viewers out there, I'd probably give it a 85% out of 100, so a solid score. You know, it's not quite 100% like you know, maybe some of them some other people out there on the internet are kind of like touting it to be. I assume there's probably some variability in between different products, different manufacturers, stuff like that, but my overall take, once again, probably 85%. Don't throw away your other interior cleaning stuff, but if you're looking for a quick cleaning tool, this definitely is pretty sweet. And once again, it kind of has like that moistness to it still. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get multiple uses out of it, and you know, I'll go ahead and try and use this maybe like, you know, 5-7 times more. And I'm only detailing my car, you know, interior maybe like once a month, something like that. So, you know, you might get, you know, 3 months, 6 months out of it, just depending on how frequently you clean your car, and, you know, obviously what your how bad your car is and what you're cleaning out of the vehicle. All right, and so that's my review of the dust cleaning gel, and this would be once again by Ticarve. I'm probably butchering that, sorry guys, if you are the company. But yeah, really good solid product here, 85% out of 100. And I'll go ahead and put a link in the video description just so you know where I bought mine from. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. I don't get paid. I'm certainly not sponsored by this company or anything like that, but yeah, it'll be just easy for you to find in case you want to test it out for yourself. Anyways, that's all I have today. If there's any questions or comments, drop them in the video comments below. I always try to attend to my video comments as soon as possible, so that's the easiest way to reach me. That's all I have today. Thank you everybody, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.